What up, guys? Hope you're having a good day. Namaste. I want to talk about caffeine and nicotine and society's demands upon us and how all these are overstimulating the fuck out of us. If you notice, our society has a gigantic stick up their ass, and this is on the individual and the collective level. And I'm not calling you guys out, I'm not calling myself out, but when we are overstimulated, whether it's drug induced or idea induced or belief induced by society telling you you gotta have everything together or you're a freaking loser, all of that is demeaning our humanity and it's destroying our creativity. When our nervous system is in fight or flight all the time, you have no creativity. You are black and white. You are go, go, go. And ultimately, you feel like you're missing your life. You're like, man, where are these years going? Well, they're going into the abyss while you're just trying to survive. That's where they're going. And the opposite, a calm nervous system, is one that promotes healing of your mind and your body. Creativity, because you're not thinking black and white. It helps you have better relationships with people. It helps you just relax. And when you can relax, you talk to people, you're not nervous, you're not shy, you're not... Something that happens with me is if some stranger comes up and talks to me, there's an alarm going off that's like, you need to get out of this conversation ASAP. I think part of that for me is like, I do have a little bit of shyness, but also it's all this overactivity and stimulation. And I've quit caffeine recently, and I notice it. Like, you don't have this, it's like, you don't have this, like, just this high intensity in your chest. And it makes you more effective as a human being. It makes your energy more level, so you don't get home from work and have nothing left to give. Like a lot of us, you go to work, you go in your coffee break, you have a coffee, and it makes you so freaking productive at work. But the thing is, your work is for most people is not like what they really want to put their energy into. And when you are unstimulated, like, not unstimulated, but when you're not overstimulated by things, you have energy all day long. Like, you get home from work, you feel like the same person you were when you got to work. And that's not even an exaggeration. And I think it's our birthright to just be relaxed and at ease and have well-being. Because when you're overstimulated and cracked out, you're not well. You're not what's the word? You're not at ease. You're not at home. You're trying to, like, survive and, like, solve all these problems and make all these lists in your head. When life is not like that. Life is chill, man. Life is chill. You have time. And paradoxically, the people who work hard are the people who actually don't get that much done. As in, they don't push the needle forward. It's not that they don't get a lot done. They get a lot done, but it's a lot of shit and a lot of unnecessary things. But when you can sit in silence, and when you give yourself a moment, and that moment isn't riddled with like stimulating drugs, you enter a deep state of clarity. And that's where real intuition thrives. That's where real creativity thrives. That's where you get you just get an idea come to you. You get an idea that just comes to you, that pushes the needle 5 miles forward, rather than you just, trying to push it forward by effort. I was watching a video, and it said, during the Renaissance era, when there were a lot of very successful artists, philosophers, people that literally developed science, they didn't work very much. They had a lot of leisure time. They worked maybe 5 hours a day max, and they spent another 11 hours either eating, socializing, or going to events with people, walking, all these things. And that was their time that they marinated in themselves. They were with themselves, with other people, fully present. And that's when the ideas strike them. It was if you think about Isaac Newton, that dude invented calculus and developed a theory of gravity because he was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his head. Think this dude was sitting under a tree. Who does that these days? Who sits under trees, bro? Have you seen? Okay, when was the last time you saw someone sitting under a tree? Didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. Maybe if you're at a park and it's sunny and someone's sitting under a tree and they're on their phone, they're just leaning against the tree so they can be on their phone. It's probably mindlessly scrolling. But yeah, we have these ideas we need to go, go, go. Success is only achieved by extreme effort and sacrifice. And we're in a hierarchy, a competition with everyone around us. This is toxic. We are a team. This world is a team together. We are a bunch of gnats on a floating dust ball. Why are we fighting each other? And why are we trying to get ahead of each other and use each other for what we want? It's because we are in a survival mode. And we need to transcend that survival mode. And my belief is that cutting out stimulants, caffeine, nicotine, detaching a little bit from these ideas that society's constantly trying to push on you, and recognizing your worth as a human, as you already are. Just for existing, you have worth. You do. It's been drilled out of your head that you don't. But it's false. Everything flows into place the way it's supposed to flow into place. When you release the steering wheel a little bit, you don't have to release the steering wheel all the way, but that grip, that just, this needs to work. I need to make this happen. I need. You don't need unless you're in survival mode. Like, I've been meditating for a long time, and meditation is a very good decompressing activity. If you could call it an activity. It's really not an activity. But I've noticed, even after quitting caffeine, that the sense of peace and the deep rest that you go into, it's so restorative, and like ideas come, and you have like epiphanies and like realizations. And before, like, I've been addicted to caffeine and just scrolling YouTube, just scrolling Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, music, just constantly distracting and stimulating myself for the last 10 years. And when you're a good meditator, that stuff can play out. Like, that intensity is still seen in the space that you're in, that you are. Not that you're in that you are. That stuff still appears, and you see it appear as it is. You see it appear as an intensity, as an anxiety in the body. And that can be a practice in of itself. But since I've quit caffeine, like, that space is still there, of course, but like, there's not that insane noise trying to pull you out of that space, and you can enter like so much deeper into your meditations. And you feel love for just life. You feel love for people, man. Like, you can't feel love when you're trying to survive. You can't. Does a raccoon that's being backed into a corner feel love? No. So how are we backing ourselves into a corner? It is our nervous system being in a sympathetic mode. The list of ways that it can get pushed into a chronically sympathetic mode is endless. It could be trauma. I've said 3 already. Stimulants, our society, nicotine. So we need to pull ourselves out of survival mode. And you do that by relaxing. And you can't do it alone. You can't force yourself to relax. You can't. We are both a spiritual being and a biological being. And I'm not diminishing our divine nature as consciousness, but we are imposed upon by the external world. And I've said it like 4 times in this video, and it might just sound so trivial and so simple, but if you have a stimulant drug in your body, you're in fight or flight mode. Our natural nervous system is parasympathetic probably 80% of the time. We get bursts of energy when we need to do things, and when we need to, defend ourselves against a tiger. But I am sure that I can say for a lot of us that it feels like we're being chased by a tiger all the time. And that is not how we're supposed to live. Even if your situation's tough, I get it. Like, if you're not making enough money to pay rent, if you have kids to feed and you don't know if you're going to be able to feed them this month, That is obviously stressful. So let's not add to that stress. Let's not add to what is already being put upon us unnecessarily. And a lot of us, man, like I don't know if it's first world, third world, in developed countries, we are pretty good, objectively. We have a roof over our head. We have food in our stomach. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. I think I'm circling back in my head a lot of times. And yeah, recapping is get yourself out of survival mode. Give yourself the grace. Give yourself the grace in terms of your existence, in terms of mentally. Give yourself the space. But also stop imposing external things upon yourself that you don't want to impose and that are taking away your natural physiology. Okay, guys, hope you guys have a great day. Love you all. I will see you in the next video. Bye.